I've actually had 3 opportunities to drive the Chevy Volt before this week's big test drive, the big one where we get to do probably as much as 100 miles. First chance I had to drive it, it was one of the early test mules. They let me take around the Milford Proving Grounds. It was actually in the body of a Chevy Cruze, so we're not really going to talk much about that, but we will talk about the time I drove a pre-production Chevy Volt in Los Angeles around a parking lot several times. Then I had a bigger course that I had a chance to drive the Volt on in New York, preparing for the New York Auto Show. So I do have some initial impressions.
We really think this thing has great bones. It has a good DNA to really make this, and I can tell even in its current form of an engineering test vehicle, my sense is that you're pretty comfortable driving it and you get a nice feel and sensation.
Oh yeah. The first impression that I got of the Chevy Volt is that yes, it's a very advanced vehicle, but at its heart it is a car. It just happens to be a vehicle that runs on electric power and has a generator to keep it going as you drive. The interior is slightly techy, but not overwhelmingly so. Now that generator, that's kind of interesting because this drive that I ended up taking in the dark in Los Angeles, they had me keep going and going and going until the battery died down to the point where the generator had to kick in.
Now, how did you know it was on?
I saw the display change.
And now do you feel something, right?
I can hear the engine.
Now in New York, I got to open it up a bit. I got to drive it on a loop at one of the piers near where they've got the USS Enterprise Park, so you may see it in the background at some point. We went around a couple of times, and there were some straightaways where you could accelerate. Now the acceleration is nice. People don't realize that electric vehicles have very nice acceleration. The handling is very nice. And again, the whole purpose of this vehicle is to get you to forget that you're driving an electric car, that you're driving something special, to just treat it like your daily driver. So that's one of the things I'm going to try to do when I get out there and get my hands behind the wheel of the Volt. So initial impression is pretty good. We'll have a chance to drive it a little bit more later this week, and of course we'll have a full test drive review coming up later on.